June 21st, 9:48 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. What? Prosecutor Von Karma? You mean... No, I heard it's his successor this time. Successor? Manfred Von Karma was a really sinister man. He pulled all sorts of nasty tricks all so he could win. He was a man obsessed with the word perfection. He had a perfect record for 40 long years. Who knows what sorts of dirty tricks he used to get each of those guilty verdicts. And now his successor. I don't know what kind of person they will turn out to be. It's no good. Mystic Maya! Pearly! You showed up! Thanks for coming all this way. I was really worried about you. Hey, where's your mother? Didn't you two come together? Mother is watching over the trainees. She said they have training for 2 days straight with no breaks. Huh? Then you came all by yourself? Yup, I stuck out of the manor and followed a map. Don't tell me you walked all the way here. Of course not. I ran. That's... Oh my. It takes 2 hours by train. Aw, man. Pearly, what about the train? Huh? What's a train? I give up. It's time, isn't it? I'm really scared. What if Von Karma tries to do something to me? At least I know Mr. Edgeworth would be nicer to me than Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth? Who is that? He's Nick's rival. Well, he's also a friend. I still remember him as though I'd seen him only yesterday. Every trial was a scorchingly fierce battle until the very end. It was always back and forth with them. When you're rivals for life, Maya! Please don't mention that name ever again. Huh? But why, Nick? I'm sorry, Maya. I forgot you don't know. He's gone, and he's not coming back. What? Wait a second. What's that supposed to mean? Court will commence shortly. Please proceed into the courtroom. Let's go. Now's not the time to talk about that anyway. Nick? Hey everybody, Luigi369 here. Welcome back. Let's play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Justice for All. It's a long title. District Court, Courtroom Number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Maya Fey. Are the prosecution and defense prepared? What is with this kid? Mr. Wright, are you prepared? Huh? Yes, Your Honor. Why does he always seem mad at me? Mr. Phoenix Wright. You must be a little shocked because I'm a woman, correct? Hold on. So she's the famed successor to Prosecutor Von Karma? I am Franziska Von Karma, the prodigy. I see. I gave up a promising career in Germany and came to this country for one sole reason. Revenge. Revenge? Is this about her father, Manfred Von Karma? If it's something of a personal nature, I'm sure you can... Ow! I'm talking. If you interrupt again, my whip will do the speaking for me. Please speak with your mouth, like a normal person. I beg of you. Yow! Make no mistake, I will defeat you. Prepare to go down, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The Prosecutor Von Karma, your opening statement, please. Those of Von Karma blood only have one fate, and that is perfection. The defendant Maya Fey will find no escape from her guilt on my watch. Very well. What is the defense's position? Your Honor? Does the defense wish to enter a plea of not guilty? Yes. Foolish fool who foolishly dreams of foolish dreams. 10 minutes. I give the defense 10 minutes before it changes its plea. That's right. I'll have you running for the justified self-defense plea in no time. Justified self-defense. Plea usually reserved for when a person unintentionally kills in defense of themselves. And you could very easily make a solid case that it was self-defense, but... The defense stands by the plea of not guilty, Your Honor. Because it's a plea of justified self-defense is to say you did kill someone. How foolish. If that's how you want to play it, Mr. Phoenix Wright, then I shall call the first witness. She's just as scary as her father. Like father, like daughter, I suppose. Yeah, talk about it. Witness your name and occupation. Yes, sir, my name is Dick Gumshoe. I'm a detective at the local precinct. Ah! Get to the point already. Explain to the court the details of this murder. Yes, sir. If everyone would please look at this map. The channeling chamber has no windows and the door was locked shut. At the time of the murder, only the victim and the defendant were in the room. What were they doing in there? They were channeling a spirit, sir. Channeling a spirit? That's quite the look of disbelief there, Your Honor. Anyway, a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard coming from inside the room, sir. A few of the witnesses broke the door down and rushed into the room. And that's when they found that victim was already dead, correct? I believe this is one of the most open and shut cases I've ever presided over. Alright, floor plans. So how was the victim killed? I was about to get to that. Stop wasting my time, then. Franziska's a little ruthless. A lot. The direct cause of death was a pistol shot to the forehead, sir. The shot was fired from point-blank range. But before the victim was shot, sir, he was stabbed in the chest. The wound was very severe, but not enough to cause instantaneous death. The murderer used the pistol to finish the victim off after the stabbing. So the victim was stabbed before being shot. This is the victim's autopsy report, sir. Alright. The court accepts it into evidence. Mr. Wright, you may question the witness. Alright. Cross-examination. Here we go. The cause of the death. Let's just start going here. The murder weapon, Detective Gumshoe. Whose pistol was it? It was the victim's. The victim? Now why would he have... Why would he have a pistol? Who cares? The point that you are missing is whose fingerprints are on that pistol. If you're not already paying attention to that, then I suggest you start. Fingerprints? There were fingerprints? Along with the victims, the defendant Maya Faye's were also on the grip, sir. So the defendant's fingerprints were left on the murder weapon. I walked right into her hands there. Yeah? Point blank range. Point blank, huh? So about how far away is that? It's anywhere between 12 to 20 inches away. And how do you know where he was shot at? How do you know he was shot at point blank? Mr. Phoenix Wright. I grow tired of the foolish foolery of the foolish fools of this foolish country. I almost said courtroom. Trying to predict the lines doesn't always work. Excuse me? Gunpowder burn. Gunpowder burn? Something is shot from point blank. A burn area is left around the bullet hole. Gunpowder exploding is what makes a bullet fire, and that gets real hot, pal. And there were definitely some gunpowder burns left on the victim's forehead. Wow, never knew that. Live and learn, I guess. Stabbed in the chest. Stabbed. And what was he stabbed with? A fruit knife. I see, and whose knife was it? It looks to belong to the Fays, sir. And of course, Maya Faye's fingerprints are all over it. All over it, huh? Ugh. This doesn't look good. What will you do now, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Not about to cause instantaneous death, huh? How severe was the wound? If it had been half an inch more to the right, it would have hit the victim's heart. After a stab like that, it's impossible to fight back, let alone stand. This testimony makes it sound like Maya had been stabbed. Testimony makes it sound like Maya had stabbed him with the intent to kill. That it does. Are you sure he was stabbed first, then shot? Yep, sure can be. One look at the wounds and you come to the same conclusion too, pal. A fool is a fool who will only listen to the foolish opinions of other foolish fools. A pistol shot to the forehead at point-blank range is certainly enough to kill instantly. Does it matter, then, which was first? Think a little more before you open that big mouth of yours, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Grr, what a pain. That's enough. We've clearly established how the victim was murdered. I brought the 2 murder weapons with me today. Very well, the court accepts them into evidence. 2 shots fired. Belongs to the phase. The date and time of the death was June 19th at 3:15 p.m. Eyewitnesses claim to have heard 2 gunshots at this time. And 2 murder weapons. Both with the defendant's fingerprints on them, This does seem like an open and shut case. Naturally. This is going from bad to worse. As if the summary just now wasn't oversimplifying things to the extreme. Your Honor, feel free to slam that little gavel of yours. After all, there's no room left for doubt, is there? That is quite true, Mr. Wright. Yes? Even in the face of all this, do you still wish to plead not guilty? It's the opinion of this court that if you do not adjust your plea, you stand to lose. See, just as I promised, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You would change your plea in less than 10 minutes. What will you do, Mr. Wright? Will you change to justified self-defense? Because now would be the time to do so. This is your final chance. This is a huge decision. I'd better think this through all the way. The fact that the corner of this screen has a bullet hole, and if we assume they're sitting in the middle of the room, a shot was fired off to the right, and there were 2 shots fired, meaning that I think he would have probably shot first. So, yeah, we're gonna plead not guilty. Maya didn't do this. If we plead justified self-defense, we would basically be confessing to murder. After the trial, Maya's life would be ruined. She'd be labeled a murderer. I can't let that happen. Your Honor. Have you reached a conclusion, Mr. Wright? The defense will not change its plea. We will accept nothing short of a complete acquittal. You have sealed your fate, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Detective! Yes, sir? Present the final portion of your testimony. The final strike. Yes, sir. Now, see here. Proceedings are run by... Ah! Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead, detective, and give your testimony. I think the court would like to hear about the other piece of incriminating evidence. Other piece, huh? Sorry, pal, but there's an even more incriminating piece of evidence. This is the costume the defendant was wearing at the time of the crime. As you can see, it's covered in blood. The defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back. So this is the costume. Certainly is evidence of a back spray of blood on this. This piece directly links Maya Fey to the crime, sir. I see. The court accepts this into the evidence. That's not good. Alright, Mr. Wright. Maya's fingerprints on both murder weapons and a blood splatters on her clothes. Could this situation get any worse? What's wrong? You seem to be at a loss. I think this is the last piece of testimony the prosecution should have to offer. Feel free to sulk off with your tail between your legs, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Please stop calling me by my full name. It's disturbing. The only thing, for any doubt for me here, they did show there was a bullet hole. He wasn't fighting back? How do you know if he was or wasn't? You can find no evidence that the victim put up any sort of a struggle, pal. So did the murderer have a fight with the victim or not? Depending on this, the circumstances around this murder drastically change. Ugh, we're in real trouble now. We had something to prove that the victim did fight back. That fine Karma, she thinks she can decide the verdict with this testimony alone. Well, I'll find a critical contradiction somehow, then I'll have her. I think I found it. I just don't know where to present it necessarily. I don't know if you present the gun, or the clothes, or the folding screen. We're gonna take a save here. I think the better one to present would be the robe. Maybe not. Alright, let's press these other statements. Why didn't you say so in your testimony earlier? You're kinda scary today, you know, pal. Calm down, Mr. Wright. There's no need for that kind of attitude in my court. Alright, just please stop glaring at me like that. Maya's costume? Yeah, she was wearing this when we arrested her. Maya, she's wearing her channeling costume today, too. She not allowed to wear anything else? This blood on the costume. Lab results show that it's the victim's blood. So there is blood from the victim on the defendant's clothes. Definitely not good. So were there any other clues you could glean from this piece of evidence? Well... If you must change the topic, then the good detective here must testify again. But too bad, not enough time. Let's move on. Yes, Miss Von Karma is perfectly correct. Now even the judge is on her side. I bite off more than I can chew here. What should I do? I think we press further here. Why is Miss Von Karma suddenly putting up resistance? There must be a reason as to why she suddenly threw out an objection like that. There must be something about this costume. I just have to look harder. Mr. Wright, Miss Von Karma's logic is perfect. There is no way for you to poke a hole in it. Looks like my time is up. It's about the costume. Yeah, there's one little thing. Your Honor. Actually, there is something very wrong with this piece of evidence. What? What are you talking about, pal? Where is this problem you're talking about? I've come this far. There's no turning back now. The problem I have with this piece of evidence is here. I asked the court to please take a look at the sleeve of this costume. The sleeve? There's a tiny hole here. A hole? That wasn't in the report. Hold on. What's this around the hole? It smells faintly of gunpowder. Gunpowder? No one ever told me. A hole that smells of gunpowder. Looks like I found the hole I was looking for. Your Honor, the only logical conclusion you can make is that it must be a bullet hole. Order, order, order! This is a very grave matter. It's best we correct the court record first before anything else. Yep. Sorry about that, I guess we messed up, sir. Is she actually smiling? What else is she hiding? Pull yourself together, detective. That tiny hole doesn't change a thing. The strength of the evidence still holds. Continue with your testimony. That just now was a fluke, nothing more. How can you say something like that? This is a huge oversight. Well, I agree it is a mistake on the part of the police. Prosecutor Von Karma has said it's true. The evidence still stands. If you do not find a more definitive problem with the evidence, then no way. Detective Gumshoe, please continue with your testimony. Yes, sir. Now do we present the robe here? Yep. I was just ahead of the curve. Detective Dick Gumshoe. Yes? Having you call me by my full name is kind of a weird feeling. You said that my client killed, quote, a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back? Yeah, I did. Then what, may I ask, is the bullet hole you police overlooked supposed to mean? What does it mean? I'll tell you what it means. It means that the victim had fired off a shot. Is this what it means to not fight back? Ah, you're right. It seems you are correct. If the victim had tried to shoot the defendant, then it would change everything. All right, the wind seems to be shifting. What is with that "are you finished yet" laugh? Are you finished yet, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Miss Von Karma? It seems that Maya Fey was shot at by the victim. However, that is only grounds enough to support a justified self-defense plea. That is correct. But I'm sure you remember, Your Honor, what the defense clearly said. They rejected justified self-defense and pleaded not guilty. Ah! Now that you... Why, that's right. Which means the defense is yet to prove anything at all. No! Well, yes, that's true. Furthermore, just the fact that there is a bullet hole in this costume is not enough to substantiate even a plea of justified self-defense. How so? Ah! Don't just stand there. Hurry up and tell the court what transpired that day. With the new information we acquired added in, of course. You mean by myself? You want me to put together the scenario all by myself? Ah! Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Do I get the hiccups now? That's new. What transpired? I'm yawning already. Shit. During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The victim then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. The scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Here we go. Gotta find something here. There's quite a difference in height between Dr. Gray and the defendant, and in body strength that it seems unlikely the defendant could have stabbed the victim. Now that you mention it, yeah, I guess. You think you can get away with such a flimsy reasoning, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Maya Fey was in the middle of channeling, was she not? When channeling with the Karine channeling technique, the medium physically changes. With the nurse's build, the defendant easily could have been a match for the doctor. I don't believe it. She even studied up on the Karine channeling technique. Like I said before, I am perfect. About what you were talking about, I don't quite get it. Never mind, let's just continue with the testimony. Good idea, Judge. So he was stabbed, but the stab wound didn't kill him? But if you think about the blood loss, he was probably hurt pretty bad. How badly hurt would you say he was? Actually, I went to get blood the other day. And afterward, I felt a little lightheaded and dizzy. I guess the damage was maybe about 10 times the dizziness. Sorry. Where in the world did that pistol come from? Look, where in the world did that pistol come from? It looks like the victim, Dr. Gray, had specifically brought it for that day. What, a handgun? He got it off the black market about 2 days before the murder. Why did Dr. Gray bring a gun? Was he taking precautions against something? So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Maya had never fired a gun before in her life. The victim had already taken off the safety. With the safety off, even an amateur like you could fire it just by pulling the trigger. Even me, I wonder. Now do you understand? Von Karma's logic is perfect. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad. If There's gotta be a contradiction in there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Stabbed in the chest, shot at point blank. Fired twice. A diagram. 8 inches. Eeny miny. Don't think that's useful right now. That's not useful. Diagram, probably not. I'm wondering here. Lester shook to fight back. Took out his gun. Took a shot, they were too close and he missed. And it picked up the opening. Okay. That's not it. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. Does? I don't see anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection denied. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright. Oops, that didn't go so well. I pressed everything, I think. Yeah. Nope. Did I press that too close they missed? So you're saying the bullet hole in the costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think too. No, already final shot was fired. Yeah, it's the stuff about the safety. Is the gun the contradiction on the last one? I wonder. No. Alright, time to load the save. Yeah, I remember the first game pretty well. This game I don't remember as well, so we're probably gonna have a lot more of me sitting here trying to figure out what I'm contradicting here. Yeah, it's the one on the current channeling technique. One of these presses has got to give me something here. Gotta be something with this one, I think. No. Not the gun. Why would she have whipped him there if he didn't say something that... No. Not going well here. This can't be that hard of a testimony to crack. Oh, where'd that pistol come from? I bought it. No. I got someone screaming at me watching this video right now. I mean, did they miss? Oh, that's it. Missing the tiny hole on this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. What do you mean? This little hole actually has created a huge hole in your testimony. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where is the gunpowder burn on this costume? Gunpowder burn? This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there's not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away, and it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Well, then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between her doctor and between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. If he was standing, then that shot wouldn't have gotten there. So he had to have been like kneeling down or something, meaning that he would have had to shot first. I think. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor. Flaw? Yow! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. Has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took his shot. Must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. Yeah, it's gotta be this. He had to have had some distance and missed. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. What is that, a folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Ugh. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground. Which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Exactly what I was thinking. Order, order! This changes everything. Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot. Then the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. Which would have been about right here. Somewhere around here. Uh-oh, the judge's face is scrunched like you just smelled some serious bad breath. That is, wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think that things through again, Mr. Wright. Of course. Oops. It's done is done. For now, I should focus on where Maya was at the time of the crime. Okay, I guess she would have been over here. Then, I figured it would have been near the beginning of the... whatever. Over here. Somewhere around here. Nope. Maybe here? What the hell? Oh my god, I can't... At the time, the defendant was in this area. Here. Nope. Holy shit, where the fuck? Right here? She was standing here near the folding screen. Okay, I was close enough. But wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole. But how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You of all people should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there's nothing of the sort around the bullet hole of this costume. Ah! Curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright! You! I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways away from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? Yes, it does. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen? Exactly. Maya Fey was the real murderer. Why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a hard time with you. You amuse me. Of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? Detective? How dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start by preparing your standing by first removing that three-stranded goatee. Oh, and rest assured, your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call on the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness.